My vice principal accused my student of stealing, then told me I was a student too. I was 23 when I started teaching 8th grade science, and apparently I looked young enough that nobody at my school believed I actually worked there. During my first week, a substitute stopped me in the hallway and told me I was late for class, and when I laughed and explained that I was the teacher, she just stared at me, apologized, and walked away. I thought it was funny until our new assistant principal made the exact same mistake a few weeks later. She caught me outside my classroom during lunch and asked why I wasn't in the cafeteria, and when I told her I was supervising my students, she actually said, "You're a student." Before I could even pull out my staff ID, one of my students came running around the corner yelling, "Miss Parker, someone took my backpack." The assistant principal immediately pointed at me and told him to take his friend back to class. My student just stared at her and said, "She's literally my teacher." Her face was priceless. I figured that would be the most embarrassing thing to happen that year. I was wrong. A few weeks later, one of my students, Caleb, got accused of stealing 3 expensive calculators from another classroom. Caleb wasn't a troublemaker, but he was quiet, sarcastic, and terrible at defending himself, so adults seemed to assume the worst about him. I happened to walk past the office while he was being questioned, and I heard him say, "You keep saying you saw me, but you didn't." The vice principal told him to watch his attitude, and then Caleb said, "You didn't even check the camera." I stepped inside and said, "He's right, check the footage." The vice principal looked at me and asked, "And who are you?" I honestly thought he was joking. He wasn't. "I'm his science teacher." He laughed and told me to go back to class. So I went straight to security, showed them my staff ID, and asked them to pull the footage. 5 minutes later, we watched Caleb walk past the classroom without ever going inside. Then another teacher entered about 20 minutes later carrying a box, went straight to the supply cabinet, and left. We brought the footage to the principal, and suddenly everyone started asking questions. Turns out the calculators hadn't been stolen at all. The teacher had moved them to another classroom and completely forgotten about it. Caleb was cleared, but what happened afterwards stuck with me. The principal apologized to him, then apologized to me for not taking either of us seriously. Caleb looked at me and quietly said, "Guess we're both invisible." I laughed and told him, "Maybe, but next time someone accuses you of something, make them prove it." After that, whenever an adult mistook me for a student, Caleb would walk by and say, "Careful, she can grade you." And honestly, I never corrected him.